life is difficult and traumatic, and I want y'all to hear this message because I want y'all to see how a person's life can literally transform overnight, and how your quality of life can drastically get better. I talk about this all the time, and I know it's hard to believe, but when you hear it from somebody else, and today you're going to hear from somebody else, I want you to listen to this and listen to this closely, all right? Listen to this.
Yes, this is Vivian Hardy. I was just looking at one of your videos from a day ago, and I was laughing at you because you were talking about the heat and the air conditioning, all of that. Well, I can't tell you how much my life has changed. So I'm going to make it really quick. So we had to come back home to the USA for a quick moment. My father passed. But here's the thing. Because of having Gary, my stepson, situated, I have been able to help out family. I have been able to do things that would have been a major burden. Matter of fact, it would have been things that I wouldn't have been able to do because I would have had Gary on my hip.
So let me give you some context. So her stepson, special needs, he's an adult and needs round-the-clock care, round-the-clock attention. And, you know, I interviewed this lady some months ago. Y'all have seen the video. And she's older and she's getting up in age and is not young like she used to be, and trying to tend with a young man. Trying to deal with that, and she's dealing with some health issues and round the clock care. Didn't have her life. It was literally centered around taking care of him, and so life was difficult. You know, there's a thing called caregiver's burnout, and she wasn't able to take care of herself. She needed some assistance with certain things as well. So I just want to kind of give you some context. And so this is what happened.
It has been just in my mind, nothing less than a God thing. But let me also tell you this. So that has worked out really well. We're my father's services are this Saturday. But let me tell you the other funny thing. This AC.
Before we get to that AC thing, I want to continue to harp on this a little bit. When she got down here, she reached out to us and she was like, Cortez, I need a place. I need to find a place that will take him in and take care of him 24/7, where he can live. A place where they have activities to keep him busy, field trips, stuff like that. Around the clock nursing care, staff, other people that live there where they can kind of socialize and do things together. So she was like, I need a place, Cortez. Now, if you're familiar, I don't know if y'all are familiar with this, but facilities like this in the States can easily go from $6,000 a month on upwards to $12,000 to $15,000 US dollars per month. It's unaffordable. And not just that, but just trying to get care, home care, is also extremely expensive, unaffordable for most. You know, so when you come to a place like Mexico, you can get a place. You can have people come in and provide round-the-clock home care, whether family members dealing with dementia, Alzheimer's, or just getting up in age, or maybe you just need some assistance as you go about your day, and you don't want to be by yourself. Many expats that are getting older, you know, think about it. A lot of folks have moved here so that they didn't have to remain in the country that they're from, but because they're getting older, they're having to return back to the States. And oftentimes they don't even think about checking out, looking into facilities where they can actually live in full-time, 24/7, have round-the-clock care and help. You know, but this lady was able to get her life back, and she's going to go a little bit more in detail. She's going to kind of jump around a little bit, but I want y'all to hear it from her.
Here, Central Air, felt like it nearly was going to take me and Viviana out of here. We got sick from all this air blowing on us. We were gone for 5 weeks, and I was determined to acclimate my body to Merida, but only in 5 weeks. We got back here, ended up with a head cold because we just not used to all this air blowing on us constantly in every room. So I said all that to say I got tickled because we came back to get everything straight with my father and everything straight with getting out of this unit. But you are so right. All this AC, I'm now to the point where I can't hardly stand the AC to go too much below 77. And so here in the States, and so people can acclimate to it. And I'm excited to get everything settled out of here and getting back to Merida. But we appreciate you. Like I say, my quality of life is so much better because I'm able to help my family do some things at a time where, it's time to say farewell to my father. And like I said, I just appreciate everything about what you do, everything about Merida, and just the quality of life that we're about to really start on permanently once we get out of here. So, again, I just want to say how much I appreciate you. Tell the family I said hello.
So, again, she got her life back. And if you're bold enough and brave enough to consider the possibility of living in a place where your money can take you so much further, where your money stretches so much farther, man, you can have an amazing life. And you heard her. She got her life back. She's able to help her other family members. She's been doing this for years. Years. I made this video. I talked about this in another video. Another friend of mine, I talked about another friend in the last video, but another person was like, hey, I'm my mom's primary care provider. Wherever I go, she roll. I'm not waiting. I'm not waiting until I'm too old and can't enjoy myself. So I'm going to start living now. You know what I mean? So they brought the mom with them. You know what I mean? So you got options, man. I'm going to let you hear this other clip because I asked her if I had permission to play it. And I want you to hear how she continues to expand on her life.
Hi, Cortez. Yes, you are welcome to use that audio because when I tell you, when you are a caregiver, your life goes into like a cube or a box. It's a difference in what you can do, what you can't do. It becomes difficult just to make it to your own doctor's appointments. It becomes difficult to go to a funeral. It becomes difficult to go to a wedding because you're constantly giving medicine at a certain time, or you're feeding at a certain time, or if something happens, like if that person has an episode, or if they get sick, or whatever it is. And care, a sitter, is so expensive in the United States that you need to be making 6 figures double or triple time to really pay people for their value of what they bring to the table to give you some freedom. And that's not even talking about, we're talking about the finances, we're talking about the freedom, but we also hadn't gotten to your own physical health. And my physical health has suffered because of never being able to get away. Everything is on a time schedule. Hurry up and get back. Hurry up and do this. Hurry up and do that. The stress level just had gotten to the point where it affected me physically, not just mentally anymore, but physically. And so you're definitely welcome to use that because I want people to understand nowhere is perfect, but sometimes just some tweaks here and there in your life brings more value. Just 1 or 2 tweaks brings value to your life as if you have hit 6 figures. And that's important. It's important to have those basic needs. When you have your basic needs, you can live a long time. And so, yeah, you're definitely welcome to use that. I want people to understand You give up some things, but then you have to look at how much you're getting. If the getting is so much more, then, you know, you need to consider it. Anyway, thanks so much.
So what are y'all willing to give up? I mean, because you're going to give up some stuff. But man, what you can gain on the other side is limitless. Your mind can't even comprehend it. You know, as I was saying, these places in the States are extremely expensive. $5, $6, $10,000 a month. But they have places here, I mean, for like $1,000 a month, you live there 24 hours, 7 days a week. That includes your food. That includes breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snacks in between, drinks. That includes activities and trips and places that you go to. Swimming pool on facilities, in many of these facilities, game night, bingo night, little parties that they have. People come in, perform. They go to the theater downtown in Merida and watch the symphony. I mean, quality of life, I mean, that's what you're gaining. And it's good for him because now he's very active. He's busy. He's not cooped up in the house all day with nothing to do. He has a life. You know what I mean? So literally you get your life back. But like she said, you're going to give up some things. And some of those things are like adjusting to a new culture, which can be difficult. Trying to learn the language, which can be challenging. And keep in mind, there's places all over the world. It's not just Mexico. There's other places where cost of living is significantly cheaper and they speak some English. So don't, you know, although I talk a lot about Mexico, it's because I live here. But again, the cost of these facilities and home care, in-home care, compared to the United States, most folks is out of reach. And many times folks will generally have access to funds that they get from the government to take care of their disabled family member or family member with disability, and bring it down here to Mexico, and shoot, you could do your loved one can be taken care of and have a better quality of life than what you're probably able to give them. You know, so quality of care. The staff to resident ratio. United States, they always trying to cram as many people into a place with limited staff. That's not the case here. That's not the culture here. You know what I mean? So the quality of care is going to be better. It's going to be improved. And again, improved quality of life for the caregiver. Your mental health starts to come back. Your physical health. You have freedom. You have more time for yourself, personal time. I mean, you gain so much. You know what I mean? So if life abroad is something that you consider, because oftentimes I hear people say, well, I have aging parents, or I have a child, an adult child that needs my care or my attention. Man, this is an option. This is a real option for you to consider. And again, in many cases, their quality of life gets better, and your quality of care is better, and quality of life is better, and your quality of life is better. But it's going to require you to make a decision. It's going to require you to be willing to do something completely different, step into the unknown, and go. And there's over 1 million Americans, United States citizens, that live in Mexico and call Mexico home. Over 1 million. So people are doing it, but you got a plan. You can't just show up without a plan. You got to have a strategy. You got to have an idea. You have to set some goals. You're going to need to know why you're moving down here. I talk about this all the time. It's important. I see so many people come and they go. They didn't have a plan. They didn't have a strong why they were coming here in the first place. Why are you coming? Because that why depending on how strong that why is, that's going to be the thing that kind of help you sit tight when things get a little rough, because it's going to get rough. You're going to have some challenges, you're going to have some headaches, you're going to have some frustrations, and you're going to want to run back home, but you're going to have to go back to that why. Why are you here? Why did you move in the first place? And, and then you base all your decisions based around that why. You don't hightail it at the first sign of trouble, and so many people hightail it out of here at the first first sight of trouble. I know the heat is unbearable for many, and again, that's why it's important to do your research. Don't come out here without having to come down here and stay during this heat. Because I see folk come here and they get here in the wintertime, and then the summer show up and then they out. They like, I can't. Because you got to do your research, because there are other places that you can go to and still experience the same quality of life without the heat. But you need to do the homework. Don't sit here and watch these videos and hear people talk about how great it is in Merida. Oh, it is hell here with this heat. There's no downplaying that. And don't get caught up in the fantasy of living this dream, because everybody talks about all the good stuff. They talk about all the pretty stuff, like pretty providers, pretty neighborhoods, and all the green, and the cost of living is right. But that don't mean nothing if you can't handle that heat. And the heat can be adjusted. You can adapt to that heat if you stay long enough. But again, most folks deal with that heat first week or 2 or 3 and they out. They don't ride it out. Now, I get it. You don't have to deal with the heat because, again, there are other places. But for us, it's like close proximity to the United States. Cost of living is great. The kids love it. Going to university is going to be like $5,000 for them to go complete 4 years of college. Won't have no debt. You see what I'm saying? I'm talking about that why. Am I going to let this heat run me up out of here for again a 4-year degree for $5,000? I had to kind of put my priorities in check. Now, my wife, she would have been out of here a long time ago with the heat, but you know what I mean? The goals, priorities, what's the focus, what's the reason, retirement for us, getting our finances in order. Screwed that up, so my opportunities and options are limited if I'm trying to play catch up. If I'm trying to be in a house in the next 2 years, paid for cash, I have to make some uncomfortable. I played during my first 50 years of life. At some point, it's time it's no more playtime. And right now, it ain't playtime for us. It's crunch time. First 50 years was playtime. I'm grateful I got my health and my mind to be able to focus and try and get on track. There are 2 sets of people. Those who play in the first part of their life, and then they got to make up for it on the latter part. And then there are those who get serious and focus and do what's right and do what they need to do during the first half of their life, and then in the second half of their life, they get to enjoy themselves. Because let me tell you something, all the folk that's moving to Mexico, all of them ain't broke. Some of them coming here, buying houses, writing checks, paying cash, transferring cash. I want this house, $300,000. I'm gonna go buy this car, $25,000 cash. I'm gonna pay my rent up for 3 years, cash. They good. You know why? They did what they had to do in the beginning, in the first half of their life. Then you got jokers like me. I played. Now it's crunch time. So, and because it's crunch time, now them folk who got the funds and who played it right, They come here and decide it's too hot, they want to go somewhere else and up and go, guess what? They can afford it. They can do it. You know why? Because they plan. But there's a lot of us who ain't get it right. So sitting tight, that's just something we got to do. And that's what we're doing. Sitting tight. Getting it, trying to get it right. You know what I mean? So cost of living here is great. It's rising, of course, but it's still cheaper than the States. And even though many parts of this city is rising in cost, there are many parts and there's many things you can do to keep your costs limited, keep your costs down. I stopped by today and picked up some chicken. I was riding with somebody the other day. I can't remember who that was. They were like, yeah, man, I just picked up a whole chicken from Sam's Club. I think they say they pay like $10 or $12. And I'm like, man, there's a lady down the street I buy the chicken from, a whole chicken as well. It comes with rice, tortillas, what else coming at? Some beans, and it's like $5. You know what I mean? So same meal with more stuff, but half the price. Today I stopped by and picked up some asadero, the grilled meat. I bought a kilo of it. It was like $16. Real good. Came with tortillas, corn tortillas, and we could eat on that for dinner and have some left over for lunch tomorrow. So there are things you can do to keep your costs down. Now the other thing I did, went to IHOP and paid all that money for them doggone pancakes. But they were craving waffles. What can I do? I'm sorry, somebody gave me a code. I need to track them down and figure out who that was that gave me this doggone code. But you got options, man. I see these folks online, you know, and I talk to family back home, friends, and they're like, man, we struggling to get by. I mean, think about it. This guy is staying in the facility. 24-hour care around the clock, food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, for less than what many folks spend on an apartment, a one-bedroom apartment. And that includes his food, usage of the lights, internet, Wi-Fi, cable, internet, TV, Netflix, and all of that stuff. Come on, man. That's where you living while somebody taking care of you 24/7 and feeding. You're getting 3 squares a day, 3 square meals. So sometimes it's hard to believe we living in Mexico. It's like you forget that you living in Mexico because it's just a normal day. We're at a place now where it's just a normal day. We ain't in no vacation mode. We ain't in no live your best life mode, although living your best life, it just comes by default. After you get adjusted and acclimate and assimilate, it's just a regular day and you're like, man, I ain't worried about nothing. If I don't feel like cleaning my house, I can go on the app, literally go on the app and type this in. I got a 3-bedroom house, 2-level, 3 bathrooms, 3.5 baths. What else? Studio upstairs, a studio downstairs. They call these extra spaces studios. I got all the kitchen, blah, blah, blah. And then folks will just bid. Oh, and then I could write, need somebody to come here today between in the morning, in the afternoon, or even at night. And then all of a sudden folks will start bidding and say, hey, I'll come do it for $15. I'll come do it for $20. I'll come do it for $25. And then I can go back and read the reviews, pick one, and they come today. I don't have to wait for them. In the States, how you gonna call the house? You get a housekeeper over to your house, you gonna pay a fortune. Here, I can go in the app and have a dude, well, a lady or a dude, come by and clean up my house. I wanna pull something up because I wanna make sure I cover the variety of services that are available to me. Find a specialist. It's crazy. I'm in the wrong section. Let me go to popular. If my toilet stopped working, I can go in the app and type it and write a description saying what's wrong with my toilet. And then the plumbers will be it and say, hey, I'll come out there and take care of that for $15 today. If I need some electrical work done, they will be here today. If I need somebody to walk my dog, I go in the app. Somebody will come and walk my dog for $5. Need my pool clean, $5, $6. Somebody will come clean my pool today. A lady we found a washing machine for a lady online yesterday, the day before. We sent a message out. It didn't have a plug. The area where she was putting the washing machine didn't have a plug. Sent the message out. I'll be there in the morning. It was late in the day. Be there in the morning. They done came and put a plug up. They done put a whole new plug in the wall. $25. That includes supplies and everything. Put a whole new plug specifically for the washing machine. This is what I mean you get your life back. Need somebody to hang your air conditioning up? Guess what? Write it in the app, they come. The app is InDrive, that's the name of the app for those that are already here. Professional services, same thing. Lawyers, doctors, professional beauty services. Need somebody to come over here? Let me tell you something. You know, I got 3 daughters here and a wife. We went on the phone or on the app. Was that the app? No, this was on Facebook. Went in Facebook because they needed some bras. The lady was like, what sizes do y'all wear? Told everybody size. She loaded up her car and brought all the bras to the house, and they was allowed to try them on, and they bought bras and nightwear. Convenience. I know this does sound hard to believe. Charlie, I'm trying to find out what she charged, how much they do her nails for. Charles. Hey, Charlie over there. Tutors. You need somebody to come tutor. You can put it in the app. I mean, seriously, in the app. Let me pull it up. I know it's hard to believe. I don't know if you can see this. Tutors. For preschool, language tutors, school tutors, yoga instructor, music lessons, preschool preparation, personal training. It's in the app. Hell, your life could be better just by using the app. Event organizing. Now, you caterer, you write it in the app. Cakes made to order, write it in the app. Event decorator, entertainment for your kid, birthday party, put it in the app. Surprise breakfast. I mean, that would literally say, I guess if you wake up one day and decide you want to surprise somebody with some breakfast in bed, You can go on the app and get a joker to come make a surprise breakfast in the morning. It's crazy. Charlie phone broke, iPhone. These jokers will come to your house and pick up your iPhone and your computer. But I need to take my stuff to your business because I need to see where it's going so I know where to go get my stuff in case there's a problem. But her phone broke. The back camera stopped working. Got wet, water damage, and something else was broke on that phone. The battery was bad. So the battery need replacing. The back camera going to be replaced and fixed so she can use her back camera because she can't use it now. She can't make videos. They can replace the battery and dry everything out and get everything cleaned on the inside. $90 for iPhone by an authorized iPhone guy. State's going to be set you back a few hundred. Oh, and it's going to be ready in 4 hours today. We got to go at 6 o'clock to pick it up. It's 5:36 right now. So you got options. Now, folks pay me, I charge a lot of money. Folks complain, oh, your price is too high. Let me tell you something about that. And I'm not talking about the price. If you're going to sell everything in your house and then move down here and only have to return back 3 months later because you didn't think this out well, you lost a whole lot of money. When you hire me, you essentially getting a coach. You're going to get a coach because I'm going to try and get you ready to get here and survive and live. You don't know how many times folks done got here and they out. Sometimes folks will show up in town and say, hey, I tried to do it on my own. And you can do this on your own. Or they hire somebody else who was way cheaper and they be like, didn't work out. And they'll call me after. You know, I had a lot of folks who just show up in town. They try and do it on their own. And these are people who never been out the country before, never traveled. And they try and do it on their own. And again, I stress you can do this on your own if you plan, which make sure you sign up for our Move Abroad and Thrive course where we go through an entire planning process. We take you through setting your goals and determining why you're moving here and helping you plan and think this thing through for the next 12 months. So moveabroadandthrive.com, on the link, you'll see a link that says courses. Click on Move Abroad and Thrive Academy. But it's not easy. It's just showing up. Because again, if you sell everything you own and then have to turn back around and go back 6 months later because you got in your own head, then my little fee, the folks that come down here with me, many of them stay. Most of them stay. Why? Because they've been prepped, setting realistic expectations. I try and set those expectations, really set them, because it's not going to be a fairy tale. It's not going to be easy. But see, a lot of things is folk get confused. They're watching folks online and they think it's going to be smooth sailing. It ain't. I'm the first one to tell you it ain't going to be smooth sailing. Lady here now got both her ATM cards got ate up in the ATM machine. Fraud alert set by her bank. You know what I mean? That's enough to drive anybody crazy and be like, "Oh, I'm leaving. I can't get my money." Folks start freaking out. You know what I mean? I don't think there was anything she could have done. She had already told the bank she was going to be here, but the time she put them cards in the machine, been using the card just fine a few days prior to that. You know, but things happen. I'm your coach because I want you to win. I want you to see this thing through. I don't want you to go back, because now when you got to go back, you got to buy all your stuff again, find another place to live, buy another car because you done sold your car, buy all your furniture again. It's cheaper to pay me my little fee, because my fee is really more than what other folks is offering. It's not just about helping you find a place. It's all the other stuff that you don't even think about. You can't even conceive what's coming because you don't know. You only know what you know. You get here, you move in, and many times folks just sit in their house. And 3 months later, they like looking at the walls, ain't going nowhere. No, you ain't doing that. No, we're going to tell you how to get out and go out. Like I said before, plenty of folk been in trouble, lost their phones, and freaking out. Lost their money, lost their cards. And when you're a client of mine, I'm going to make sure you're straight. I'm going to take care of you. If I got to come pick you up out the jailhouse, I'm coming to get you if they let you out. If you get very sick and you don't got nobody to call on, I'm gonna get you and take you to the doctor. I've done that you have no idea how many times. But I factor all of that into my costs. I factor the fact that you're gonna be a nuisance for about the first 30 days that you here. I already know that. In fact, I factor in the first 90 days you're going to be bothering my behind about something. That's all rolled in. That's why everybody else, when they done with you, once you move into the house, you're done. They're done with you. There ain't going to be no calling them asking for some help. Now they'll call, they might give you some pointers and stuff, but ain't nobody coming to get you. Nobody. You know what I'm saying? So it's the little things that you don't think about that's going to determine whether or not you make it. I'm trying to think of one now. People get paranoid. I met this lady. She was staying at the hotel, Residence Inn, and she was like, the people at the register was laughing at me. They were talking about me. She said she went over there and gave them a tongue lash and cussed them out. I was like, you don't even know what they said. Because they was speaking in Spanish and she ain't know no Spanish. Cussed them out. Talking about she gave them a tongue lash and they ain't ever forget. I'm like, number one, they probably ain't understand what you said anyway. You know what I mean? But she cussed them out because she felt they were laughing at her. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Jokers is going to laugh at you behind. You just might as well get that in your head. They going to laugh at you. But it's not a evil, intentional laugh like they demeaning you or slandering you or just with ill intentions. To them, they just giggling because for them it's the funniest thing in the world. They can't speak our language and they seeing you stumble over your words and trying to communicate, and they laughing partly because they don't understand you. You don't understand them, and so both of y'all are trying to figure things out amongst each other, and they just giggle. And they might laugh a little bit with each other and be like, wow, a lot of folks are really intrigued on why Americans are even here. Why do they even want to come? They're intrigued by that. They can't believe it. It's shocking to them. And oftentimes, many times, it's their first time even intermingling with foreigners. But she cussed them out. I ran into her in a store. Ran into the lady in the store. Same thing. Thought the folks was racist. Thought the folks didn't like her. I'm like, I've been here for 3.5 years. Never got that impression. Everybody has been friendly. So if you think the man that was out to get you in the States, you're going to think he's out to get you here. That's just, you attract what you believe. You attract what you focus on. You know what I mean? So she was like, oh, they don't want me here. I feel uncomfortable. And I'm like, yeah, it's probably time for you to go on back home. And she ended up leaving a few days later. You know what I mean? Talking about, oh, they looking at my kids funny. Yeah, they probably was looking at your kids funny, but not in a bad way. You're different. That's just get that out. You're different. When the white man show up out here, they different. Especially blonde hair, blue eyes, they different. Red hair, white folk with red hair, they stand out. They different to the locals. And so naturally, and you're black, you stand out. You're different. They know you're not from here. So it's not necessarily an issue of they staring you down because they racist. They're curious. You're different. You're different. And many times, and here one thing about Merida, it's a tourist attraction, not necessarily for foreigners from the United States, but this is a vacation destination from people, Mexicans all over Mexico, descend on Merida to vacation. And many times, the places where they were coming from to come vacation, they never seen a black person, ever. Sometimes they never seen a white person with red hair. Never seen a blonde hair, blue-eyed person. A lot of these folk come from small towns way out in the way. So when they come here, that's why it's not unusual for somebody to run up to us, especially down in Centro. Hey, can I take a picture? Can I take a picture with you? Can I touch your skin? They intrigued. So if that bothers you, yeah, you probably don't need to be here. You know what I mean? Because you're going to get the stares. And you'll know if somebody has some ill will towards you. And if they did, so what? I'm sure you have some folks in the state that have some ill will towards you. You ain't do nothing about it other than complain about it. Tell your friends. So, but you won't have as much of that here. I promise you that much. So anyhow, I rambled on. So listen, take a look at my course, Move Abroad, Thrive Abroad Academy. Move Abroad Academy on the website, moveabroadandthrive.com. Also, check out our VIP members only section as well on the same website. I have a section in there called Ask Cartes. You can ask me all the questions you like. I think you'll get the best value from the course, Move Abroad and Thrive Academy. On our VIP membership, I have a lifetime membership on that thing where you get a free telephone consultation with me as well. So check that out. What else? If our content is helping you plan your escape abroad, consider making a donation. Cash App, $ Cartes Ross, or you can send a Zelle, which is my email address, cartes@cartesross.com. I have that information in the screen, in the description. Get out while you can. There's no better time than now to go. There's nothing holding you back. Nothing in the world say you have to live and die in the country you grew up in or were born in. So get on out here and make waves. Make waves.